So what's up, everybody? Happy Friday. It's my Sunday. I'm just out here at the Santa Ana River, getting some sun, trying to. It's really hot. We're having a heat wave here in Orange County, California. It's been like about 90 degrees, I'd say, and pretty high humid. So, been kind of cooped up. I was off yesterday and today, but yesterday, first thing in the morning, I got this new chest workout thing, and I did it, and somehow I think I pulled a muscle in my back, my mid back, and then it turned into like a knot. So first thing yesterday morning, I got this knot in my back, and it pretty painful actually. Feels like a pulled muscle, but I think it turned into a knot. So that kind of ruined my day a little bit. I did manage to get out and take a 3.5 mile walk over an Orange and got some sun, but I could feel it the whole time. Kind of sucked. It's still there today. I still feel it, but it's not quite as bad as it was yesterday because I was putting a heat pad on it and stretching and rolling around on a tennis ball trying to put pressure on it and get it to loosen up, and it's helping a little bit, but I think I need to ice it when I get home and then do the ice hot therapy. Maybe take a couple of Tylenol or something. It'll help. It's nothing bad. It happens every once in a while when you get to be a little older. You get knotted up, get wadded, knotted, stuff like that. It is what it is. Same place, same muscle gets knotted a couple times a year. Same muscles, same deal. Right in my back where it pushes. When I take a deep breath, I can feel it because it's pushing on my lungs. But I'll be all right. So other than that, I'm feeling pretty good. Just another weekend. Nothing special. Had a pretty good week at work. Nothing special. Just hamster on a wheel, man. Just cruising through life here. Sober still, of course. Plan on keeping it that way. So that's going good. No real temptations. I still see my bros online doing their same thing as they always been doing, even back when I was drinking. They're still Googling over beer and booze and weed. Still the same thing over and over and over and over. Just, they're in it. Can't bag on it. I was there doing the same thing myself just about 1.5 years ago, so it is what it is. I mean, some people, like I said, can be cool with it, and some people like me, it ends up causing problems, And it's funny to watch other people being into alcohol and whatever, drugs, weed, because I know exactly what they're going through. I know exactly what it is. It's an addiction. It's a habit. And I could just tell when someone's been letting their addiction get a little out of hand, because it's obvious, because I've been there myself. I've been there, done that. Had to take a break from all that because health and finances, I'm sure you all know that by now if you watch any of my videos. So this is where I come lately to get my chi, my zen, down here in this riverbed, away from everybody. It's the continuing of my isolation practices because I'm isolated when I come home. I'm pretty much isolated when I'm doing things. I'm by myself usually. The only time I'm really around people is for just brief times at work. But even when I'm at work, I'm around people. It still feels like I'm kind of alone because I'm not really there to be mingling with people. I'm there to work. Okay, I work at an outdoor mall. So I'm around people, but I'm still kind of like, you know, it's like my whole life, I feel like lately has been isolated. But, you know, that leads me to a subject I wanted to bring up. I was thinking about earlier today and yesterday as I'm sitting there, you know, isolated. And I think a lot of people I think are going through this. I'm totally not, well, I'm not alone, but you know what I'm saying? I am alone on this, and other people are alone on this. The internet has a lot to do with it. The internet and cell phones has a lot to do with a lot of people being isolated these days because it gives them an outlet instead of having to go out physically or have someone come to wherever they're at physically. It gives them the option, and most people, honestly, they use that option to opt out because it has conditioned people, generally speaking, to have a very low tolerance for other people, okay? And, you know, a lot of things. But generally, the internet and cell phones have conditioned people to be very intolerant, very low tolerance for a lot of things, especially when it comes to interacting with people. People just are not good at it. They can't handle it. It's stressful. They're intolerant, including myself. I speak for myself, and I'm sure millions of other people out there. And it's the internet that's doing it. I've been, you know, seeing videos online, of course, online, watching videos from 1999, 90s, and even the early 2000s. It wasn't an issue that long ago. This has been an issue that started in the last just 2 decades, okay? It started when these smartphones came out and the internet and the laptops came out. Everybody started getting dialed into the internet. That's when this conditioning started of people choosing to opt out and being conditioned to opt out of not being on the internet or not being on their phones. And it's a problem, man. It's a real problem. And you know what's sad is we're 2 decades into it, and it's just brand new, and it's already affecting everybody a lot. And it's only been a couple decades since it's really took off with smartphones and internet, you know. I mean, smartphones have been out since the mid 90s, early 90s, but they didn't really take off till the early 2000s, late 90s, okay? Because I remember one of my earliest uploads was with the phone I had like maybe 13 years ago. The videos in my YouTube channel, old ones from like 13 years ago, it was like just the beginning of like, it wasn't even really like a smartphone. It was probably like a flip phone that had some internet capabilities, but it wasn't something that was really fun to kind of go on the internet with, you know. You could probably Google some stuff and get information, but it really didn't like do Facebook or, you know, TikTok and all these like YouTube and stuff. It didn't really do that. If it did, it was really crappy, okay, and it wasn't really worth it. But, you know, I was watching videos of a Megadeth concert. Let's just say a concert, okay? 1999. Not one cell phone up in the air. Everybody having a really good time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that was how it was back then. Partying like it was 1999, man. And it seems like once the smartphones came out and the internet took off, that's when all this started, man. This isolation and people no longer interacting with people in person. Now it's all isolation, and you know, if people do interact with people in person, it's really tribal, like very cliquey, you know, like very not just open to public, you know, mingling. It's not like that, not like it used to be. People weren't as open to just whoever in public, you know. People were better at socializing back then because we had to be. We had no choice. But now we've had this choice to opt out for 2-3 decades now, okay? And now it's getting to where people are like, what the F, man? What the F is wrong with what's wrong with our society? Well, it's the internet. The internet's the problem, man. Cell phones are the problem. And, you know, they possibly could be the solution to the problem, but I just don't know how, you know, I don't know how that would work. But I guess we're going to find out, right? We have to find out, because there's no going back to the way things used to be, man. Back in, you know, the magical, mystical era from, you know, late 90s and on, you know, older 80s, 90s, 70s. There's definitely no going back, man. The internet has changed the world. It's made things a lot more convenient, but for like society and socializing and like being helpful for people's psyche, I don't think it helps. I think it makes it worse for people, because we're getting further and further away from our nature. And our nature is to nurture each other in person, okay? To be a community, okay? And we're really lacking in what our true nature really is. And that's to be like feel like we have a community and support. And you know what I mean? We have a social network, like in real life, not on the internet, because that's all fake, okay? It's different when it's online. It's not the same. Because people can say what they want online. They can opt out. You know, it's just not the same. So, you know, I feel it personally. I feel the change, because I come from an era where we didn't have the internet. We didn't have smartphones. We had friends that we actually spent time with. And that seems to be, I mean, I got maybe just a couple of friends that I see in real life, okay, in person. I don't see hardly anybody outside of work in person. I spend a majority of my time alone. And I don't like it necessarily. I don't. It's, to me, it's kind of depressing, actually, you know? And, you know, I've been thinking a lot, because when you're alone, you got a lot of time to think, right? You're just alone with your thoughts all the time. And, you know, it's the internet, man. It's smartphones. It's the internet. It's a problem. I hate it, actually. Even though it's like, here I am using the internet to get my message out, right? I don't know how else to do it. Go out in public with the loudspeaker and just start saying what I'm saying here, and hopefully somebody hears it, and whatever, you know. I don't know, I wouldn't know what to expect if I did something like that, but that's probably not going to work. So this is how I do it. This is a trippy area right here. So, you know, I just want to talk about this a little bit, because me personally, I'm getting tired of it. I'm getting tired of being alone all the time, you know? And you can't force people to do things, because they have that. They can't force them, and then they also have the option to opt out because of the internet and smartphones and this and that, right? So there's no pressure to worry about visiting anybody anymore, or having somebody over, or whatever, making a date with somebody. You know, there's just no pressure for it, because we have the option to opt out with the internet and smartphones, you know. So this is something I'm going to continue to talk about, because it continues to be a problem in my life, an issue, okay? Because I have the contrast. I've lived in the magical, mystical times of the 70s, 80s, and the 90s, and even the early 2000s. Been there, experienced it. I miss it, big time. I don't like what has happened. I don't like what the internet and freaking smartphone has done to my world. I don't like it. I don't care about convenience. I don't give a shit. You know, yeah, this is convenient to get my message out, but what choices do I have? They've made it to where we don't have like a choice. I wonder if this is all designed, all by design, or is just something that just, this is how it evolved. Maybe both. I don't know. Well, all I know is I miss like the parties in 1999, just like Prince said, party like it's 1999, and that's when kind of like the good days ended after 1999. So I just kind of wanted to talk about this, because, you know, I know part of it's because I'm getting older, but it's not normal even for older people to feel like this, man, you know? And especially for younger people that are going through this, you know? It's got to be really hard on them, especially because, you know, they haven't, well, I guess they didn't experience life before the internet and smartphones, so I guess they kind of really don't know what they're missing, but I'm pretty sure they can feel it too, especially when you're young and you're being isolated. You know what I mean? You're feeling isolated and alone. That can be really rough on someone's mental, you know what I'm saying? So I just kind of wanted to talk about this. I'm at the end here. I'm going to turn around. So it's something that's been kind of an issue, and, you know, I know it's kind of being a long video, but, you know, I also wanted to say, you know, getting clean and sober is magnifying these issues I'm talking about right now, because, you know, drinking and drugging made this life that the way society is now, drinking and drugging made it a little more tolerable. Okay, you can kind of opt out of those thoughts and feelings with alcohol and drugs. You just kind of suppress it. But now that I'm sober, and I'm feeling all these feelings and having all these thoughts, and I'm alone a lot, and I'm just totally sober, having to deal with all these thoughts and emotions that I've been having that are out of my control, really, because you can't force people to be around you. So a lot of it's out of my control. Okay, the internet's out of my control. Cell phones are, what am I gonna do? Put the one little thing I have, I'm gonna put it down, and then I'm really gonna be isolated even more. So it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know what I'm saying? I think what would be really good for society and just us humans as a species, bring back the damn pagers, bring back the pay booth, bring back the freaking the phone booths, okay? So people can like either just get like a non-smartphone, just like a phone that you can just text or just call somebody, but you can't really go on the internet with it. Just have those. I guess they call them a dumb phone, right? A dummied down phone. Just have those. Get rid of the smartphone. Get rid of all the stupid online social media. We could live without that. We did it before. I'm sure we could do it again. We need to kind of go backwards a little bit with this technology we have. And I think it would be really beneficial for a lot of people. Yeah, you'd give up some of the convenience, but you know what? we managed before, we can manage again, but you know what? They're making it to where now, just to function these days, you have to have it. You have to have this stuff, or else you can't just do things, you know what I mean? Like, you needed to pay a bill, you need your phone to do this and that, you need an account for this or that, and then, or else you can't get things done. Okay? Back in the day, we used to have to read a map. If we wanted to go somewhere, we didn't rely on our stupid phones. Back in the day, we actually had to call people if we wanted to talk to them. We didn't rely on social media or just texting all the time. There's just a lot of stuff where it would be good for humans to go back to, okay? I'm just saying, man. This is something that's been on my mind lately. And, those are my thoughts on it. No wonder people drink and do drugs, man. This it's hard to tolerate, man. As convenient as things are these days, it's still, this world's difficult, okay? It's difficult to tolerate. People have very low tolerance for other people these days. That's why we see so much road rage out there and people freaking out. They have low tolerance. They don't want to work. They want to go steal shit, because they can't tolerate work. They can't tolerate an easy job, really, some people. They can't tolerate nothing. People are weak. The internet has made people very weak and intolerant of a lot of things. So, it is what it is, man. I just want to get my thoughts out there, and just so maybe someone can get something out of my thoughts and at least help. If this helps one person realize anything, then I did my job, my public service, my message from a guy that's got experience, that comes from the magical, mystical era of 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, okay? Those are like fairy tale land now, okay? That's what it feels like. So, I do appreciate y'all stopping by and listening to me rant and rave and scream, cry, and complain. but this is where I do it, so you know, it is what it is. So it's your first time here, appreciate the subscribing. If you do, hit the little bell for the notifications. I usually post up every day. Hit the like option, that's great too. And I hope you all have a fantastic day. It's Friday for everybody, my Sunday, but it's all good. I'm still going to try to make the best of every day, every hour, every minute, because that's the name of the game, right? So we'll catch y'all later. All right?